Okay, so let's talk about this one. You ready? Same kind of concept. What makes this one a little bit different than the other two that or the other three, I guess, that we've worked already? Yes. Okay, there's a negative 22 right here. Okay? That's not a big deal. We're going to still kind of follow the same process. All right? I'm going to follow the same process. So here we go. Ready? 8 and 5 are going to give me what? 40. Do we all agree with that? Okay. Factors of 40 are going to be 1 and 40, 2 and 20, 3 and, no, not 3, 4 and 10, 5 and 8. Okay? Now remember, when I take a step back, I'm adding those two numbers in the middle to try to get to negative 22. Do we all agree? So, what can I do to get...
Make the 10 and 20 negative.
Okay, they're each going to have to be negative. Does that make sense? And that makes sense too, because I could do a negative 1 and a negative 40, right? A negative 2 and a negative 20, because two negatives get me a positive, right? Okay, so I'm still looking to add the one that gets us to 22. And which one is that? 2 and 20, right? So this time when I split it, I'm going to make it 8x squared. But instead of doing plus 2 and plus 20, I'm going to do what? Minus 2x and minus 20x. And then I'm going to keep my plus 5. Because a negative times a negative makes a positive 5. Does that make sense? Is it 5? Yeah, it's 5. Okay. So far, so good? All right. Now I'm going to follow the same protocol. I'm going to group these. And you remember a while ago when I told you to group the sign? And it was always positive and you thought I was cuckoo crazy? Because you were like, why does it matter to group it positive? Now guess what you have to include? You've got to include that negative with the 20. All right, does that make sense? So if I'm looking here, 8x squared minus 2x, what can I pull out of both an 8x squared and a 2x? I can pull out a 2x. Now, I don't want to pull out a negative here because this first term is already positive. Okay? Does that make sense? And we like to keep those first terms positive. So I don't have to pull a negative out here. So if I pull out a 2x, I'm going to be left with a what? A 4x minus 1. Everybody okay with that? Yes or maybe? But then on the next one, is my first term positive? No. So I'm going to want to make sure I pull out that negative. And is there anything else I can pull out? I can pull out a negative, but I can also pull out a what? 5. So I can really pull out a negative 5. Does that make sense? So when I do that, what am I left with? I'm left with a 4x, right? And then a minus 1. Everybody okay with that? See how that works? So that means I'm going to have for my binomials, my first binomial would be a what? 2x minus 5. Right? And my second binomial would be a what? 4x minus 1. We okay with that? Yes or maybe? The only difference is when you gotta look at that and make those two right there in the middle. Does that make sense? Yes or maybe? Yes? No? Okay. This just takes practice. Okay? Takes practice. You gotta look at